about our seniors and our elders who are often ignored and unrecognized, but that stops certainly as of today. And so with that, I'd also like to recognize and give a big round of applause to all of the members of one of our organizations, Sage Long Island, who have come out here today to hear this announcement and to be part of it. So please, a big round of applause for all of our Sage Long Island members. So I'm now going to turn the microphone over to an elected official, a public official, who has been supportive of the Long Island GLBT Network, has been extremely supportive of Long Island gay and lesbian youth from the time he entered public office up until today, and I'm sure going way into the future. And so it's my pleasure to introduce New York State Assemblyman Phil Ramos.
Thank you. Thank you. Please, let's have a big round of applause for David Kilmick. David, thank you. Thank you for bringing this historic announcement here and this project that really shows that you are truly a visionary leader when it comes to the issues. You know, a lot of times advocates of communities, we compartmentalize our issues and we look at things sometimes superficially, but David, you have looked at this really at the bigger picture, understanding that within our respective communities, there are different elements and different needs, and that there are generational differences that also have different needs, and they have to be attended to. And as much as we would love government to take care of our problems, it's incumbent on us to take the bull by the horns and deal with the issues that we need. And this is an example right here of this segment of the community dealing with those issues and providing for the elderly. The elderly here will have a facility now to attend to their needs. They will have a community center that will provide to that segment. There will be housing. There will be many things done and administered by those who care and are very concerned and understand all the issues concerning this community. So I am thrilled to support, especially on this historic day, coming off the heels of a historic announcement by a decision by the Supreme Court, on a day where we recognize that as leaders who fight for civil rights, that we cannot fight for civil rights, for equality for some communities and believe that other communities should not have equality. So it is incumbent on those who do fight for social justice, that we be just as inclusive as the demands we make of society. May God bless you all. Thank you.
And, yesterday's Supreme Court decision was, or non-decision really, was monumental. The decision by the Supreme Court not to hear the federal appeal cases from 5 states automatically extended marriage equality to 5 more states, and because 6 other states reside in those districts, we will see 11 more states very soon have marriage equality, bringing it to 30 in the United States, and certainly on a trajectory where it will be all 50 sooner or later. So it's great to be here the day after that. Today is another monumental day. As I mentioned earlier, today we're announcing the first LGBT affordable senior housing in the New York tri-state area, only the 5th in the entire country, and the 1st in the suburbs, right here on Long Island, right here in Suffolk County, and right here in Bayshore, where our organizations have called home since 1995. This is truly an incredible day. Now, if we have, a lot of people ask, well, you know, marriage equality is now extending all over the place. And so if we have marriage equality, why do we need LGBT senior housing? And I think it's important to point out that marriage equality does not equate to safety for the GLBT community. And for seniors, this is extremely apparent. The need for GLBT senior housing is important now more than ever, especially on Long Island, particularly for gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender older adults who have faced a lifetime of stigma and discrimination. GLBT older adults, or GLBT baby boomers, came of age at a time when homophobia and legal discrimination kept people in the closet. If someone found out that you were GLBT, you could be fired from your job, evicted from your apartment, or denied benefits. In many parts of the country, it was illegal to be gay. You certainly could be condemned by the church from the pulpit. You could be declared mentally ill, and you could be fired. All of this was legal to do when many of today's GLBT seniors and GLBT baby boomers were growing up. Now, many of these people who supported a world of open discrimination and hostility toward the GLBT community are the ones who are in retirement and nursing facilities right now, and that makes these facilities unsafe and, for the most part, unwelcoming for our GLBT elders. And no one should have to live life like that, especially in our elder years. Now, with this type of environment currently in many of our retirement facilities, the results are devastating. Many GLBT older adults feel the need to return to the closet to ensure that they will receive quality care or avoid rejection and violence from fellow residents. That's what makes the LGBT and LGBT-friendly development right here in Bayshore so critical. It will give our seniors and elders the high quality of life they deserve, and in a safe, supportive, and nurturing environment that celebrates their life. Again, this is only the 5th complex of its kind across the United States, and today a new era begins with the creation of safe housing for GLBT older adults in Long Island. So, with that, we're going to bring up some other folks to say a few words. And first, what I'd like to do is, and this is a public-private partnership, and so we are the public, and the private end of this is Polka Management LLC, and I'm going to bring up Andrea Kretschmer to say a few words. Over here.
Thank you, David, and good afternoon, everyone. My partner Ken Olson and I want to start by saying it is an unmitigated honor to be on David and Robert's team at LIGLBT. We've seen incredible momentum and drive and mission in the work that David and his team are doing. One of our first trips out here, this parking lot was covered with a sheet of ice, and when I stepped out of the car and landed on my you-know-what, I sliced my forearm open, and they immediately whisked me inside. Matt triaged my wound, and I got incredible care, and they'd never even met me before. So I just have to say it felt like home the minute we got here. So thank you again for having us. Polka Partners has been developing affordable housing in the New York area and in Connecticut as well for about 25 years. And although this will be our first development on Long Island, as I said, it's already starting to feel like home. I'll talk in a minute about our local development partners, but what we've always aimed to achieve in all of our projects is that we're working in communities where we can make a difference. So they may be underserved, or they may just be missing a particular part of the fabric of their own neighborhood. And we have a commitment to making a difference and to staying for the long haul. So community relations before, during, and after the project is a big part of my job and something that we're enhancing and improving all the time. Not only have we been working in the affordable housing arena, but we've been doing more and more community developments, community facilities of late, and so I'll just tell you a little bit about what's happening here. We're going to be developing a project that will have 3 components. Of course, our residents will be senior, affordable, qualified, LGBT friendly, and it'll have a community facility, it'll have apartments, and it'll have parking. So we want to make sure, again, that we're caring for all aspects of our residents' needs. Locally, we'll be working, as David also mentioned, with the Long Island Housing Partnership and with Ethan Eldon from Sustainable Management. So I'll introduce Ethan in one more second. The other thing I wanted to say was to thank the board. I know Frank Ullman couldn't be here today, but Bruce and Robert are here, Tom is here, and of course Stu Schoenfeld. And then from the county, Allison and Jill and Vanessa have been tremendous in helping us initiate our conversations and working with planning and zoning and discussions with other civic leaders. So thank you to everybody. Ethan Eldon from Sustainable Management.
When I first discussed this concept with Steve Bellone, it was at a dinner party at a mutual friend's house, a man named Mitch Drazen, who also deserves credit for helping to get this started. And Steve being the visionary that he is, immediately saw what the need was, understood it instinctively, and got me together with David. And you all know David. He is a remarkable leader in the gay community. I have met few people with talents as amazing as his in organizing and leading and really making a difference. So I'm grateful to be here. I'm really pleased that Polka Management is going to be the developer and building the project, because they are top quality. They really care about working with the community that they build in. They really pay attention to the quality of what they build and and the design, and making sure that it's attractive. So you can rest assured that with the power of this team, who work together so well, and the county, Steve and his people, Jill and all the rest of the people at the county, are very impressive professionals. And I spent many years in government before I got involved in doing what I do now. And I have to tell you, this is an exceptional group, and you're going to see an exceptional project that's going to make a difference for, as David said, a population that has suffered the worst that this society had to offer.
Takes a lot of work and a lot of support, and we've been so blessed by many folks in the Long Island community to really step up and support us. And but I think it's real important to hear from some folks who are really looking forward to submitting applications for the housing. And so the first person I'd like to bring up is Will Henning.
Just a little bit about me. Growing up gay was very difficult for me. As a member of the baby boomer generation, discrimination was legal and encouraged by society. There were pockets of exceptions. Family, my mom, friends, very close friends. Junior high school, and even the military was difficult for me. I had to hide who I was just because I was gay. Then I had an epiphany. I decided I'm not going to hide anymore. I came out to everyone. There, it's done. Times have changed. People are now more accepting of the GLBT community. When I make contact with new acquaintances, they ask me where I work. I tell them that I work with Legally, and I explain my job. And they tell me, oh, that's great. My uncle's gay, my cousin's gay, my sister's gay. So it's like, not that I know everybody, but they kind of do the routine joke. Oh, do you know my cousin? And I'm like, no. But sorry, I lost my track. Then that's a new beginning. When you meet someone, you have something in common. You tell them about the youth services. You tell them about the SAGE services, and again, you make a new friend. I want to be as open and as gay as I've ever been. In my senior years, you're looking at me like, he's not old. I'm 58. So by the time this is done, a couple years down the line, I might be looking for some place where I can be, like I said, as free and as open as I am. I don't want to have to go back into the closet. Going into either senior facility or affordable housing, I don't want to hide who I am. I want the same respect, the same consideration as anybody would get. Like I said, I don't want to go back in the closet. I'm gay, and I want to live my life as a proud senior in a stress-less and a friendly GLBT and a GLBT affordable housing unit. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Will.
Well, if you don't know me, if you've ever called here, you know me. Okay? I came to this position here almost unprepared. Then I look back and I realized I was kind of an advocate for equality from day one, meaning that I found out that one of my best friends was Jewish. And I was told, you can't be friends with her. And I said, why not? She's Jewish. You were raised Catholic. I said, it doesn't make any sense. My other best friend was black. and they said, well, you know, you're really not supposed to be friends with her. By they, I mean everybody else. My family was with me, whichever decision I made, as for my friends. And they said, you can't be friends with Pat. She's black. I said, I don't understand. I grew up in Wyandanch. Everybody got along. And this was in the 50s. I never quite got this whole thing about discrimination. And a lot of times it may have cost me. I was fortunate enough to have a family that didn't discriminate either. And when I went to school, I picked a school out in Iowa. Yes, Iowa. I never would have believed it had it not happened. Everything was different out there. And friends that I knew through college associations were gay, but not openly. And it wasn't a problem, but they never said that they were. It was just kind of accepted. And that kind of bothered me because I kind of felt that was part of their personality and part of their charm, and it was part of them. But again, we didn't speak about it. I came back to Long Island, and I bought a house in Babylon, and I lived there for many, many years, since 1966. And as the years went on, I raised my family here. And one of the reasons we came back to Long Island was because my son at the time was probably about 4 years old. And we went to the big town in Iowa, which is Waterloo. And we were shopping, and we got on the elevator, and here's my 5-year-old, and he's staring at this man. And I realized he was 5 years old, and he'd never seen a black person. Again, we were in Iowa. I said, this is not going to happen. Came back home to my husband, and I said, I think we're going to move back to New York. And he questioned why, and he said, yeah. He says, that's true. He was raised in Iowa and in Europe and Alaska, so he understood what I was getting at. We came back to Long Island. The house we bought was in Babylon Village, and we had no problems buying a house there. Everything was hunky-dory. In the meantime, we got hit with Sandy just recently, and the whole housing situation became an issue for me because as a widowed senior, I needed certain accommodations. I needed to be close to where I work, which happens to be here, thankfully, and I needed to also be close to transportation. Most of the senior housing that I looked at was way out in the middle of nowhere, devoid of bus transportation, devoid of rail transportation, and also, if I continue in the path that I'm going, I may not be driving for another couple of years only. And then I'm going to be dependent on the public transportation. So I needed something centrally, and this is perfect. We have a bus that stops on the corner, we have a train within walking distance, and we have all the shops in town that we need. Plus, when this center is built, and I hope soon, I've got my application on hold, we'll have medical facilities here for everyone. GLBT friendly, you name it, will be available for us right here. I'm very, very excited about this new venture, and I thank David for the opportunity to come here. He's also the first one that told me I could try out for vagina monologues.
And it's my pleasure to bring up our county executive, Steve Bellone.
Thank you very much. I do apologize for being late. I have to say this is tough to follow, those remarks. But I'm honored to be here today with my good friend David Kilmnick, and I want to thank him for his incredible leadership that he has displayed over many years. You know, it's so profound, the progress that has been made in our community, in our country, and I'm grateful for that. But that work wouldn't have been possible without people like David Kilmnick and the people that he has worked with here, and people like that around our country who've been working together. And I just want to say it's been a pleasure to work with you and your team and other people of good faith, because we need people of good faith in government. You know, because not everybody is, and we have somebody in Phil Ramos, our assemblyman, who's fighting for the right things. I want to thank everyone who's part of this development. You know, we started talking about this a couple of years ago now, and how important this was, and I'm so honored to be able to be here today with all my friends celebrating this landmark development here one of the first of its kind in the country, and the first of its kind in a suburban setting anywhere in our country. And I'm very proud that that's happening here in Suffolk County. So my thanks. I want to thank our team, Jill Rosen-Nikoloff, and all the members of our team in Suffolk County government, and we cannot wait to move forward and make things happen here. And David, once again, thank you for a great job. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.